You're looking to buy your first home, but where do you start? In this video, I lay out my best advice to first-time buyers who want to buy their first home. Let's go. What's up, Alex from Mortgage Chain, and on this channel we provide the best tools and tips to first-time buyers. If we're meeting for the first time, please consider subscribing. Let's jump into the video. So the biggest mistake I see all the time is first-time buyers offering on a property and then seeking mortgage advice after. That is the wrong way round. Seek mortgage advice, then look at properties. Simple. Another mistake which can cause a lot of aggro is paying off debt before or during a mortgage application. The lender will see your credit file. If you pay off debt or you borrow more and it changes before or during the application, it can cause mayhem. Your credit commitments must match to the very last penny on the mortgage application, and if that changes, it can affect the amount you can borrow or lead to a decline. Try not to max out all the time. If it's your only option, just be aware that at some point during the mortgage application, your borrowing could be reduced. Just make sure your credit commitments match exactly. Your income's accurate, and there's nothing which is going to reduce your loan amount. Shared ownership. Affordability is different because there's a rent to pay for the remaining share. Your mortgage advisor should provide you with a proper shared ownership calculator to input your income, your outgoings, the share you're looking to buy, deposit. Then if your debt to income ratio or loan to income ratio is 45% or below, affordability will fit. Make sure you have this calculation as part of your mortgage review. New build mortgages. If you're looking at new builds, not every lender will do a 90 or 95% mortgage for a new build. Make sure you check your criteria because it's often very different and hard to find on the lender's website. Some lenders will only lend 80 or 85% as a maximum on new builds, and that can also differ whether you're buying an apartment or a house. Just be sure to check. Documents. Check all your documents correctly. Check for expiries. Make sure your name's spelt right. Make sure it's got your middle name. Make sure your address is correct if it's on your pay slips. Make sure your name's spelt correctly on your pay slips. If there's any discrepancies on any of your documents which reflect differently on another one, you've got a problem. It's got to be identical, and your driving license or passport has got to be in date. If you haven't got either, you're going to have an issue. Don't apply for a mortgage if you don't have all the documentation at the beginning. Credit file check. So a lot of you will check Experian or Equifax, and you may have a great credit score there, but then later on fall into an issue in a mortgage application. My advice is to get a credit file from checkmyfile because they provide the 3 credit file providers that the mortgage lenders will tap into to obtain your data. That could be Equifax, Experian or TransUnion. A checkmyfile report will have all 3 reports on one file. That means if there's any data which differs between the 3 reports, we can see it and act accordingly. If you apply with a mortgage lender which takes data from Experian, but you're looking at an Equifax file which is different to Experian, your mortgage might get declined and you might not know why. Make sure you check all 3 reports. The links are in the description to get a free credit report from checkmyfile. Visas is a common one where there's a lot of confusion. If you've got a tier 2 visa or you're reliant on a spousal visa, not all lenders will accept this situation. You've got to have a minimum amount of time left on the visa, and you've got to have permanent rights to reside in the UK. If you've got those, tier 2 visa's okay. But if that's all you've got and the visa's running out, then it will be difficult. There's only a couple of lenders that will look at that, so be sure you select the right lender. If you've not got very long left on your visa and you've not yet got permanent rights or indefinite leave to remain. Do a budget planner before you start. Factor in all the costs, including house insurance and mortgage protection. It's very common for first-time buyers not to factor in life cover or house insurance. They're just thinking about the mortgage payment, and then when those areas come, buildings insurance is a legal requirement and you don't want to leave yourself exposed with not being able to pay a mortgage. Make sure to factor these costs in at the very start. A good mortgage advisor will do this from the outset. Now, every mortgage application I've ever submitted, there's always going to be ups and downs. Okay, so stay calm. If anything crops up, don't panic. There are lots of ways of overcoming problems. For example, if the lender reduces your loan amount, check to see if they'll offer you more on a 5-year fixed. Some lenders will lend more on a 5-year fixed rate. check to increase the term. If you increase the term of the mortgage, this can make the affordability better and therefore your mortgage might fit again. Just make sure any issues, that all the options are looked at, your mortgage advisor's trying to overcome the solution with tweaks such as the ones suggested. So the agreement in principle. So timing is crucial with this. So this is how I suggest doing it. Make sure you've had your affordability looked at and mortgage quotes done and start looking at properties. You don't just want to do an agreement in principle before you even know what type of property you're going to look at, because not all lenders will lend to all property types. So once you've understood what type of properties you're looking at, maybe do a first viewing, and then if you're going to go back for a second viewing with a possibility of making an offer, that's the point to get your agreement in principle before the second viewing. I don't always advise getting an agreement in principles before you've even looked at any properties, because that lender you get an agreement in principle with might not lend on the property that you're going to look at. So it's a little bit of a catch-22. You want one before, but not too soon. So that's what I advise. First viewing, agreement in principle before the second viewing if you're intending to make an offer. So an overview of the process you want to be going through at the point you think you want to buy your first property. Step number 1, affordability. How much can you borrow? What are the monthly costs? What it's going to look like? Get your documents checked. Get a mortgage quote. Step 2, start thinking about properties, having a look at them online. Maybe go and view some for the first time, and then get that agreement in principle in place before second viewings. Once you've got an offer tied up on your property, instruct a solicitor. Make sure you get a few quotes, don't always go for the cheapest, but your estate agent will want to know your solicitor details before they take the property off the market, so don't be too long with that process. Then your mortgage application goes in, you have a survey on the property or evaluation, and as long as that's okay and all your documents okay, you'll get the mortgage offer, which is the legal binding document which states you've got the mortgage. The next step, when the solicitors finish doing all your searches, they will ask you to sign and exchange contracts. At this point, everything comes legal and binding. You are responsible for that property, and normally you'll complete and get your keys around a week later, and then you can move in. And that is the process. Today's video really was just to give you some general advice. You can have lots of different options when buying as a first-time buyer. Just try not to make any of the mistakes mentioned in this video, and you should be good. Today's question, are you looking to buy your first property? Let me know in the comments. So please note that we are obliged to tell you that your home may be repossessed if you do not keep up repayments on your mortgage. So thanks for checking out today's video. Please do check out the show notes for a recap on today's content. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing or ringing the bell. Till next time, have a beautiful day. I'll see you in the next video.